So you on Mother's Day, Bill Krueger, you didn't get to spend it or the weekend of 14 to 15 hours. Actually, let me stop. 18 hours of baseball.
No, no, I didn't. I didn't get that privilege.
Yeah. How do you
What?
think my wife slash mom of a 10-year-old who plays baseball? How do you think she liked spending her Saturday and then Sunday on Mother's Day? Let's just take Sunday. Spending let's drive 90 minutes to Chehalis and then let's watch not one but two baseball games and then drive back. How do you think that went over there with her and the other moms?
I think it's their kids, so I think they've kind of sold out. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like you get a hall pass. If it was just you, like we're going to do something for Jason, I think that would go over like a lead balloon. But you're kind of buying you're surviving this because it's your son and her son playing baseball, something that he loves, and
uh-huh.
mom does
Yeah.
love to watch her son play baseball. So
But moms also like to just kind of have
I
their
no,
have their day, and it was. But I saved the day. I'm going to tell you here in a
yeah.
second. I
Well, that was just good, good.
I
I'm not
saved the
trying to
day.
say that
Yeah,
that's the best way to
yeah.
spend Mother's Day. I'm just saying that there's some of that where she saw it coming. She had a son and he likes baseball. You
Yeah.
have to sort of see it coming, right?
So I saved the day for all these moms on the
Yeah.
baseball team,
Okay.
knowing that hey, we're playing in a tournament,
Hmm.
and it's gonna if we win these games on Saturday, we got to play on Sunday on Mother's Day, and so they're like, some of them on Saturday were like, well, if we lose both and we're out, okay, we're out, but
Yeah.
so they win, they're playing on Sunday.
Yeah.
I said, hey, everybody tomorrow bring a cup, bring a like a Yeti cup or something, all right. So then I brought to the tournament a mobile, not a mimosa, a mimosa bar.
Oh,
So I served mimosas to all the moms.
wow.
How about that, huh?
That
Dad of the year, husband
I
of the year,
yeah.
and really baseball parent of the year, Jason
I
Puckett.
think so. I think so. I think we have to sort of recognize you. I don't know if they have a certain recognition that
Well,
comes up with these things. I don't
they
know.
sh-
I think you'd have to be nominated.
well
Have to be
now
nominated.
here's the thing. I've set a trend now, so now I don't think I don't know if we have many more tournaments, but now there's an expectation, right? That
Sure.
this guy is bringing some type of mobile bar with him every time. So, and
Yeah.
I, you know what? And Bill, happy to oblige.
It's a long day of baseball.
And it's a,
The kids are learning. It's a slow game.
and you know
Yeah.
what? You know what passes the time, especially for the moms, is a little prosecco and this was the best part. So a mimosa, right? It's champagne, prosecco, and then orange juice. And every mom, because the first ones I poured, like probably 60-40, 60% prosecco, 40% orange. Or maybe it was like 70-30, really. And every mom, when I would come back around, all right, you want a refill? It was always the same thing. It was like, yeah, next time, how about just the prosecco, just a splash of orange juice. Just give every one of them, Bill, just a splash, not a lot, just a ding. And that's when I knew with these moms, we're gonna be friends.
Yeah.
We're gonna be
It's a
fast
tight
friends.
group.
It's a tight
It's a
group. All
tight
right.
group. Yeah.
Bill Krueger's with us, not to talk about mimosas and and,
Yes,
and
that's
all
all right.
that.
That's important stuff.
I know. Rise
It is.
Above Foundation, Root Sports, Rise Above Golf Classic coming up on Monday, June 24th. Bill's going to have more information on that at the end. NativeYouthRiseAbove.org is the website. Bill joins us every Monday talking Mariners baseball. Well, Oakland comes to town and they take 2 out of 3. Saturday certainly, wasn't a good game for the offense, but sandwiched, I guess, or the bookend on it was pretty good. They came in, they did their business, right? They handled, well, they didn't handle, I mean, they didn't handle Oakland, but they won the series, and that's all you can ask for.
I mean, Oakland's flirting with 500. Um, I think they must have found Yukon Cornelius because he must be managing the team because that is the island of misfit toys, as I've mentioned to you before.
Yep.
Only Yukon can find which toys. There are a lot of good toys out there. Just goes to show you, right? And to their credit, But 2 out of 3 is great. That's what you got to do. It's the old adage: win series. And their starting pitching is still their calling card. And when they do hit, it's Yahtzee.
Yeah. What do you go to? I want to circle back to Saturday because I thought it
Yeah.
was just. I think Saturday and Sunday to me, in seeing it and then reading about it to me was fascinating because we've talked a lot about this before. Now you correct if I'm wrong. I think you like numbers.
Sure.
I think you think that these players nowadays can get paralyzed by too much information. But
Mm-hmm.
one thing I liked about Saturday was when you watched it, you can see that Julio is hitting the ball. He's hitting it hard. And you know what it sounds like and what it looks like. And so sometimes, players just get unlucky. The ball just goes right into a guy's mitt or a guy makes a fantastic play. But Saturday he was hitting the ball hard. And then the statistical information backed that up. That when you looked at all the StatCast numbers, how hard it was hit, barrel rate, and exit velocity, and all that kind of stuff. I kind of liked Scott Service pulling him aside before he left to go home Saturday night to say, hey, you look in the box score and it's not the results you wanted, but you're fine. You had a really good game tonight in terms of your at-bats and how hard you hit the ball. I thought it was a good job on his part to kind of reinforce that to Julio. And then the next night, Sunday, or the next day, he comes out and has one of his best games of the season. How do you, in terms of how he managed that, Bill? I guess it's just that my long-winded point and rambling here is when a manager is able to kind of deal with that and massage that and back up the numbers with what the eyes are showing you. And then Julio took it on the field on Sunday. I don't know. I just thought it was a great piece of managing there by Scott, because I think a lot of managers always get kind of, accused of, when we follow this stuff as, they don't do much, right? They set the lineup and they get help from above. But it really is, for the most part, managing, personalities and players.
Without a doubt. Managing people is a big part of the job. It's the job. It is taking diverse sets of people, bench play, starters, starting pitching, bullpen, different segments of the game. You're the CEO. You're trying to get above the noise, but you're also intimately involved in each one of these players' futures and presence and what they need to do that day to be successful. And when players know that you're invested in them, that you believe in them, then that can go a long ways. That way, if you show that to someone, then when things aren't right and they come to you with some perspective, you're able to take it better because you know that that person has your best interest. Okay. That's just 101, leadership, right? I think Scott understands his job as the CEO. This is not the world of there's one way and it's the hard way. That's not the world we live in anymore. And his job is to massage these personalities in a positive way. Make sure you don't get critical to them in public, because managing the media is a huge part of the job, right?
Mm-hmm,
a huge part of the job. You think about it, 162 games plus 30 spring training games. That's 192 times 2. We're talking 400 times. 400 times you got to speak to the media and answer the softballs, but also answer the difficult questions and try to keep the ship steady, right? And occasionally you have to, be a little tough, but for the most part, you're trying to get their players to the best of their abilities, and then good things happen. So that's great. I mean, he's their best player, and he hasn't had a great start from the standpoint of slugging, because not just homers, it's slugging.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he had 2 extra base hits yesterday. He had 4. I mean, Dylan Moore's got more extra base hits than Julio. I mean, so yes, can he force that? No. He's obviously realized that maybe there's some things he had to work on, because he put some more time in on Saturday and took some extra BP, and maybe that made a difference for him. I don't know. I mean, I don't know his work ethic. I don't know where he gets his information. I think it helped him to get a soft landing. Saw some guys with average stuff, particularly on Sunday, average stuff where the longer swing. And we don't want, if you want to get into that conversation, we can, because there's a difference between being short to the ball and swinging fast and swinging hard, because the great hitters are short to the ball. And the reason they're short to the ball is they're able to be quicker and they're able to make good pitch decisions.
Okay, so
there's some things that he needs to work on, because his plate discipline is not good, and he's long to the ball, in my opinion.
Yeah, but stop there. So when like someone's watching this and listening to this, when you
Yeah.
talk about short and quick to the ball rather than he has a long swing, just kind of go into the weeds on that one. What do you mean by short and quick?
Well, the great hitters are guys that can wait longer to see the pitch, right? The longer you can wait, the better you are to see the pitch, the better chances are of you squaring the ball up, right? If you watch Julio, where does he struggle? He struggles with the ball in. He's actually a decent off-speed hitter in the strike zone. Why is that? Because his swing is long. He gets to the slider, and now the league's kind of woken up and going, yeah, he's not your typical, typical young player that can't hit the breaking ball. They realize that he's got a little bit of a long swing, and they attack him inside with when he sees the plus stuff, and then really fast and really slow. In between, he hits that pretty good.
Hmm.
The 87 to 91, the 85 to 91 is the 93 and above, and the 83 and below, real slow and real fast. It struggles, and a lot of that has to do with a couple things: getting a good pitch to hit, like Ted Williams said. Number two, it has to do with not many guys, and we talked about this when we were talking about pitching. When the bat head, if this were the bat head goes this way, then it goes this way, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't mean we need him to flatten it completely and be a Judy, but he needs to take and be a little bit less of that bat tilt this way. Because
Yeah.
you go here, now look how long it's going to take. And
Right.
guys come in here if they have know-how, right? And he chases. He chases off the plate and in, particularly when he gets sped up. Are these curable? Has he done some things that maybe have cured it a little bit? I think there's a chance that he's gotten a little bit better. I'm not able to really see him from the side enough to notice the difference. Does he have enormous bat speed? Yes. But it's not always about bat speed. It's about being quick to the ball and getting a good ball to hit. Okay. Those are the things, because if he finds that ground in there somewhere in between, he's going to be great. And he's done that at times where he's been great, right? So he's a young player. He's going to get there. Good signs. You're right. Confidence is everything in sports, right?
It's a hard one to change. Have you noticed it? He talked about how he changed a little bit of his stance and setup in spring training this year, but then this past Saturday when he's working with the Jarrett DeHart, he kind of reverted to where he was back a little bit last year. Did the setup, guys, you play golf, these hitters and then golfers, they just always tinker so much with their swing. Even when they have success, they tinker. Have you seen the difference of how he set up last year opposed to how he set up this year? And did you see him revert back to Sunday of how he was last year, as he talked about? Or is it just too minuscule?
I think it's probably hard to see. I mean, I think what we'll get to see is he's going to see Kansas City top. They're right with the Mariners. They're a top 6 pitching team in the American League. 3 pretty good starters. They miss Cole Reagans and they miss Lugo, 2 of their best starters. But they'll see Singer tonight. He's got good stuff. Right-handed. Right now we're hitting left-handed pitching better than right-hand pitching. Our team. We're punching out against the world, but we're doing a little bit better against left-handed pitching. Our lineup is getting a little buoyancy. All our right-handers, Polanco hits it better, Garver hits it better, Julio had a great day the other day. We have a little bit more juice against left-handed pitching because we're a right-hand hitting team. I'm getting off the topic here. It's going to be a test. He's going to see more right-handed pitching in the next 3 days than a better quality pitching. So we'll see if the adjustments are real, that he's able to get a better ball to hit and he's able to get the bat head on time, because we know he's strong. So it's a matter of getting the bat head to the position that you want to get into on a ball that's a good ball to hit, right? So he gets a lot of ABs. He lets it rip. The nice thing about Julio, the good thing he's got, is that he does stink up the middle of the field, and he runs like the wind. So, he could hit the 2-hopper, and he could have a bad day and go 1 for 3 with a walk, but he hit a 2-hopper. The shortstop had to go a little bit one way or the other, and it's a knock, right? Not everybody's got that in their back pocket, right? But we're looking for more from him, right?
Mm-hmm.
We are. We're looking for more, and that's a lot of it's because we anointed him and paid him $1 zillion. So tough sledding for a young player.
Yeah, we'll see if the turnaround, and hopefully it's a good sign. I mean, sometimes when he
Yeah,
gets on there, a little bit of these runs, he did this last year. He got on a
yeah,
run where he started seeing the ball, and then it was boom. He just absolutely took off. Let's go over to first base here real quick.
yeah.
Options at first base. So what would you do? What do you think they need to do moving forward? I mean, this trend, Bill, with Ty France is not just what has happened this year. It's not just last year. This now dates back to we looked it up, or I looked it up, August 5th of 2022. It's since then, it just hasn't performed. Where do they go at options? Maybe would you like to see them turn to?
It's a big topic. He plays a very solid first base. He's hitting 250 on this team. That's pretty good, and we can cry about his power. Um, I think that if you want to do something there, you can put Luke Raley over against tough righties. You can do that, and then sit France.
Oh.
I mean, our problems.
Sorry about that.
Well, I'm
Sorry
just
about that. We
against.
had some audio jumped in there on the feed there, Bill. My phone. Oh, okay.
Oh, I
Maybe
didn't hear
just
it.
in my
I'm
ear.
sorry. Well, so um,
I
anyways,
got you off guard. Luke, you'd like to see Luke Raley over there, maybe a little bit at first base. I threw this out to Divish on Friday. Just tell me what you think. You acquired Mitch Haniger because of his bat, and he's older,
yeah.
and you want to save his legs. Why not give him a first baseman's glove?
I don't think at this point you treat that's a new dog, old dog, a new trick. I don't think you want to do that. I think that the answers are, um, our problems are the three guys we
Sure.
acquired. Who are
Yeah.
they? Garver,
Right.
Polanco, and Haniger. Those guys are
Right.
all not hitting. So if you want to do anything, I mean, right now, Garver hits left-handed pitching. He looks like a platoon player to me. So if you want to do anything, let's just Canzone can force this, but let Raley hit against right-handed pitching until
Okay.
Garver figures it out. I mean, and Polanco's got to play. We don't really have an answer there. He's got to figure it out. Right-handed, he looks okay. Left-handed, he's in the bucket, trying to pull everything. Haniger he and Garver are kind of in the same boat. Middle in, they hit the ball middle away, and sliders. It's like putting coins in and watching it happen over and over and over again. Right, the same result. Right,
Yeah.
slider away and swing and a miss. Right. I mean, these guys have track records, so you have to sort of lean on that they're going to hit. But maybe you pick moments, whether it's Raley taking a France off the field against a tough righty, or taking Garver out of the lineup against a tough righty and let Raley hit against a right-handed pitcher, even though Raley's hitting pretty against both. He's hitting better against left-handed pitcher right now, but that's a statistical anomaly. But Canzone can kind of force all that action, so we'll have to see what happens there. But yeah, I mean, France. I mean, yeah, can you go to the market and get a first baseman? Can you go to the system? We got some guy in Double A. You want to mess with the kid in Double A, and they don't want to play roster gymnastics now, because they
Sure.
worry about all that stuff, playing time and who's off the roster. Do we have any more 60-day DLs we can throw out there? We've used a couple now, which is sad because two of our most important components are on the 60-day DL. One is not coming back, and one looks sort of bleak, right? Santos.
Yeah.
So
Let me go there first. I want to touch on Kirby because I think
yeah,
he gets the ball tonight. I think it's an important start for George Kirby, and I want to get your thoughts on that. But your reaction, Matt Brash is done. He had Tommy John surgery. We speculated and thought this was probably the route that it was going to go down, and unfortunate that it does happen down, that he'll be now out for 15 months or so. So a devastating loss, obviously, to their bullpen there with the Matt Brash injury.
Yeah, he's electric. He was dominating last year. He was the most dominant reliever, and he came with great stuff every time he threw the ball. Every time out, he's got the Nintendo slider in '98 every time, and so that's tough to replace. You can't replace it, and you can feel it a little bit. That group that they've got out there, that work group that gets you to Munoz, is a work group. You're going to juggle, and we're going to try to make it work, try to get the matchups to work, and those kids are all pitching pretty well. I mean, they're all pitching pretty well, but they're not an elite group. And so they hoped that Santos and Brash would give them that trio at the end that just knocks your teeth out, right?
Yeah,
So
and then
it
Santos,
hurts.
we get the news on Santos, and I'm starting to believe, and I hope I'm wrong, that we're never going to see Gregory Santos this year. He had a setback in his rehab. Now the earliest is July. I got a feeling that's going to be the same kind of thing that we went down the road with Matt Brash. So I mean, if they maintain themselves in this position where they're at, we keep talking about adding offense. At some point when they get to the deadline, they're going to have to dip their toes in the water of finding another reliever or two.
Yeah, I think relief is where they're going to go. That's where the team could help themselves the most. That's where there's a lot more inventory, a lot more deals can be made for those type of players, I think, than opposed to trying to get a guy who a position player. I think they have to keep betting on their position players that they got. So, and just be average. And they can be an average offensive team, even slightly below average, Puck, and be a top 6 pitching team. They're in the hunt. They're in the hunt, and they're in it. They're in
Yeah.
it right where they are today. So, and that's good enough. And that's a winning formula.
What
So there
did
you go.
Brian Wu made his debut? What did you make of it? And then I want to get to he comes out of the game. He's dealing with tightness in his forearm. Before you get to that, go to what did he look like to you in his debut in 2024?
He looked good. I mean, he was a little nervous at the beginning, and then he kind of found his release point, his changeup. His changeup. He's got a changeup, which is important. He's got kind of a nickel breaking ball, not great, but his changeup was playable. 88, 89, with his 93 to 96. I thought he put on a good show. He can definitely fill the bit,
Mm-hmm.
fit the bill, and he had to get some left-handers out, and the changeup really helped him. I'm concerned when a guy can't get loose after sitting in the dugout. That was never a problem for me, and that's not a good sign. That's a sign that there's still some weakness in his arm. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with him, but I think a lot of times in today's game, we do not get pitchers. We like to get them almost till they're ready because we don't want to leave the innings into minor leagues. Well, that's not, in my opinion, a good idea. Oh, well, he got 3 or 4 innings in. He got 80 pitches. Now let's bring him up. No, he's got to pitch 5. He's got to pitch 75 to 100 pitches and throw 5+ innings in the minor leagues so that he is ready when he gets here. Because and then when baseball whines about, oh my God, well there we go, the bullpen. Oh, we're gonna have our bullpen's gonna be sure. Oh, that happened.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we got 2 days in a row like that. What are we gonna do, right? That's such a tired topic. Get your starter ready to pitch in the minor leagues, and then bring him up and have him ready to go. To me, he needed
He's
another turn, and it's going to work out. Hopefully, he's just fine. He just like he said, he
right.
sat for a while.
Well,
That's
that's why I want to
concerning
jump
to
on
me
because
a
he
little bit.
talked about this was also a
Yeah,
problem in the minor league starts. And he said he's been dealing with this before.
right.
And he said, and Service talked about it, and even Wu talked about changing his routine, whatever it is, between innings. Do you think it's a routine thing? What did you do between innings when you were starting? Did you do certain exercises to stay loose? Because if this continues to be the problem, I'm with you. It sounds concerning to me if his forearm is always
Yeah.
tight now on these rehab starts, because it seems like that is a byproduct of something else that was going on with his arm before, and now it's starting to creep down to the forearm.
Yeah, if anything, when you're in between in between innings, if anything, if you sat for a long time, where you get a little tight is your shoulder. Your shoulder has to kind of get loosened up, not your forearm, which is concerning because forearm, people think it's the top of your forearm. When you talk about forearm injuries, you're talking about the other side of your forearm, right? The
Okay.
insertion of the, where the tendons come into the elbow on the other side, the weaker side. This is the top of forearm is the strong side. Yeah, I just think tightness and fatigue. Those are things once you get loose. I mean, I sat through rain delays. I pitched. That was never a problem for me. To me, and I brought this up to you before. Now, what I don't know that what we're sold as Hancock is a 5, but as this thing marches along, we'll see how he does. If he can step up and start being able to go 5, 6 innings, then Yahtzee. But I kind of like him. I look at that group out there that's not very talented, and I think about him. And maybe we use him like a couple times a week, or 2 or 3 times a week, and he pitches a
Yeah,
couple
you like
innings,
him out
right?
of the bullpen.
And let
Yeah.
that. I do. I think that would
Yeah.
resolve the problem that they're facing right now. But that's what they conditioned him to be. That's what he did last year. He had success. That's what he wants to do. That's what the club would love him to do.
Why
I
do
have
you
no
think he's
problem
better
with
fit
that.
for the bullpen?
Well, look, just
Yeah.
look at this last turn. That's an example of like this is a way around that problem. Okay, as long as you can kind of schedule him a little bit, you don't try to get him where he's like, okay, can you get ready in one hitter, right? We're
How
not going
would
to
you
do that to
use him?
Brian Wu.
And like what give me the role, the perfect Bill Krueger role for Brian Wu.
I try to spot him in that fifth, sixth inning and let him pitch through
Okay.
the lineup, which baseball hates. Oh, we can't do that. We're gonna mix and match. We're gonna play the numbers. We're gonna get this guy against that guy and this guy because we're playing chess, and
Yeah.
I like chess. No, I mean he could pitch through the
Okay.
lineup, which is huge because then he's just he kind of gets it going by the sixth hitter he's faced. I mean, pitch a couple innings, 2 or 3 innings, and then then you could have him in some of those games where maybe you're a little short, you're winning
Mm-hmm.
or even, and you're a little short in the bull. And then you could go straight to the guys at the end, right? You could let him pitch in the middle, and righties, lefties, doesn't matter. He kind of wows them with the bigger stuff, and then and
Okay.
do that a couple times a week. I
Okay. No, well,
just a
that's
thought.
why we have you on here. We're gonna rename the show. Just a thought with
Just
Bill
a thought.
Krueger. Lastly, I want to end on George Kirby, who gets the ball tonight.
Yeah.
Last two
Yeah.
starts have just been, not that they've been poor, they've been odd. It's just the second, the first one of the 2 starts ago, it was the knee thing. And then we talked about it was odd, the interaction afterwards and the questions and the answers.
Right.
And then he comes back for the next start. Now, he wasn't great. But he gets pulled again early. And where people are like, well, why is he coming out now? I mean, I know that he's been leaving balls over the middle of the plate, but it seemed like an early hook then. And then they came out, hey, he's fine. Nothing's wrong with him. He's completely healthy. It's just the last 2 turns have just, I don't know, have just been odd. Have been odd to you?
I think the game with the 88 pitches where they had the lead, it felt like he was overwhelmed with the competition there. 3 homers through 5, 4 runs. He didn't have that really great stuff. I mean, a lot of our young pitchers have to learn to pitch when they don't have great stuff, and we condition them to be only really. We try to make sure they have their great stuff, right? We don't pitch them too deep in games. We train them in the minor leagues. They pitch like once a week, so they're always pitching with big stuff, right? Well, they never learn how to pitch when they're just not. They don't have quite as good of stuff, right? Where the change of speed and the location and the pitch decisions that you make are so much more important than if you're just able to just huff and puff and blow their house down. You're just a big bad wolf, right? And they all can play that role majority of the time, but there are times like where you're a little bit short. Gilbert was short and he made a couple of errors, but he didn't have the huff and puff and he didn't have the great wipeout stuff and he got knocked around, right? Now, does he never get knocked around? Of course not. Everybody gets knocked around. But Gilbert's the same. Kirby's the same way. He's in the strike zone a little bit more, but they're not going to have big stuff every time out. And so we said, oh, he doesn't have big stuff, so gave up 3 homers. We'll get him out of the game, and then he'll get a little bit more rest, and he can be the big bad wolf the next time out, right?
Yeah.
That's how they think, as opposed to saying your job is to give us 7. You're still in the game. We're leading or whatever. It's even. Yeah, carry the game.
So
Let's
you
go.
felt
That's
that
your job, right? But that's not how we play.
But you felt that
play.
decision was you didn't like the decision.
I don't know. It's okay. I mean, it depends on what you have and what you have out there and what you're thinking forward. And sometimes it's good. See, I would have been fine with it. I would have rather seen him pitch when he was winning, when he's pitching good. Leave guys in when they're pitching good. Be less worried about where the pitch count is or where the hitters are coming up. But when he's like that, if he's a little uneven and you finally kind of feel like, you could regroup him and you got a guy covered, maybe you can win the game with a little bit more bullpen, that's fine. But yeah, I think, these kids are wonderful pitchers. They got enormous talent. I know they're trying to manage the long game, and that's important. You don't want to go and burn them to a crisp and never really see their full potential. So, but we also need to learn as pitchers how to pitch when we're not really at our best.
There he is. Well, you're at your best every single time that we talk to you. Rise
Right.
Above Foundation. Rise Above Golf Classic coming up on Monday, June 24th at the Golf Club at Snoqualmie Ridge. Log on to nativeyouthriseabove.org for more information. How are we looking? A few more. We got some spots.
Good.
Okay.
Field is filling up.
Good.
Sponsorships are almost done. So we're just still, I would say we've got commitments to fill the field, but that doesn't mean the field is full. How's that? We're way past halfway paid,
Pay
but
up,
we're not
people.
all the way paid. So that means there are places
Okay.
to jump in the field if you still want to.
nativeyouthriseabove.org for more information. All right, sir. We'll talk to you next Monday. As always, appreciate it. There he is, Bill Krueger. Check it out on YouTube. Thanks. Please like, comment, subscribe also on all the podcast platforms, Apple, Spotify, Amazon Music, wherever you find a podcast, and pucksports.com.